to the Nerds Against Normality podcast. I'm Stacey Bowles and I'm player 456. I'm winning this game. And he's player 001, Harry Bowles, who we're suspicious of his involvement in this podcast.
Evening.
And we're not sure of his number because he died immediately upon entry. Ben Sheridan.
Yep. I'm dead on arrival.
The guy slapped him to death.
Dead on arrival,
Train station.
just as is tradition.
So this week we will be reviewing Squid Games. First we're going to do a little catch up, tell you what we've been getting on with, and then we will go into the Squid Game review about halfway through. Just before we get into the catch up, I want to say hi to our lovely listeners. We've had a bit of an uptick in our Australian listeners, chaps.
Great.
And it's not just the friends that I make listen to it.
Well, yeah, that's like half the population of Australia.
It's not a big country.
No. There's only like 4 people in it. If The Simpsons is anything to go by, there's only like 4 or 5 people in there.
So we have some new listeners from New South Wales. Hi, guys.
Good day.
Hello there. Where is New South Wales? And before you say Australia, because I can see the look in your eyes.
It's
Yeah,
either
old South
that
Wales.
part of the map or that part of the map
Right.
where it's glowing.
That could be anywhere.
It's the upper part.
Oh, the upper part.
So any of our new listeners, if you haven't checked us out on social media, please do so. We've got fun clips and we let you know what we're reviewing coming up, so you've got a chance to watch it. Get involved.
Yeah.
Send us a question.
So, Harry,
Yep.
what have you been up to?
Okay, so I was very lucky. I got pneumonia, and that was awesome. And it was lucky because I could catch up with all the crap I don't ever get to watch.
What's it pneumonia in a heated house?
That's not a thing.
It is a thing.
It is a thing. We do live in a heated house.
Bragging. He's bragging again.
Yeah,
We've got double glazing.
we pay our heating bills, which is a luxury these
And the
days.
bailiffs have come and taken my radiator.
Downside, pneumonia. Upside, watching loads of shit.
I got to watch lots of shit, yeah.
What did you... Are you okay, first of all?
Yeah. All good.
recovered?
Yeah. But I would like to just get into, and this is quite early for me, the rant.
Harry's rant of the week.
I don't fucking... You going in, just really going fucking in 40 quid for a game. You're fucking just going in there. Wouldn't bet like it's back in my day.
Thanks, guys. That
You
was delightful.
Accurate, though.
I couldn't even tell. I thought it was just me talking.
I know, exactly. Weird. It's
It was weird.
like staring in a mirror.
Do you want to hear it again? Or?
I'll listen to it on the recording. Don't worry about it.
And on the socials.
I'm
and
not
as-
that invested.
And as your new ringtone.
Yeah. I went to go on the internet. You might have heard of it. It's a small thing. And I saw that Nintendo, they announced the Nintendo Switch 2.
Yes.
And I saw the trailer, the short trailer, and it has a little clip of Mario Kart 9, which is fun. Looks good. Looks like Mario Kart. You know what we want. And I couldn't help but feel slightly underwhelmed of the Switch 2's design. It looks like a Steam Deck. It looks very corporate. It doesn't look very fun. Nintendo's all about fun, having a little bit of jazz to it. And I thought I'd put on our socials, and I don't know if you saw this, I put this on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
I just put a picture, a still image of the Switch 2 with Switch 2 announced, looks samey, with ... To which I got a little bit of hate. A barrage of hate.
Yes, of course. On the internet.
Yeah, I know.
Social media?
I was
Bloody.
flabbergasted. And
Good
after,
heavens.
after I finished crying, I took to the keyboard to defend my honour. Yeah, so I got a lot of comments along the lines of, well, it's called the Switch 2. What was you expecting? Well, it's the Switch 2. So,
Accurate.
yeah, right?
I love our fan engagement. Really.
No, I was quite well behaved, I thought, because immediately I wanted to go into an attack, and I thought, no, because, you know, if this podcast ever makes it off the ground and people go back, I'll get cancelled. I'll get James Gunned.
You will get James Gunn.
I'll get James Gunned down.
Yeah.
Right? That joke deserves to stay in there.
Very good.
Very good.
Store God, I love you.
But my response was, okay, but have you looked at the past 7 generations of Nintendo consoles? They've all done something different. All the way back from the NES, SNES, 64, GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U. They're all different. They all do something different. And they have some kind of innovation to it, whether it be motion sensor or it be a touchpad or whatever.
Yeah.
And I appreciate with the Switch 2, there's only so much you can do to kind of push it forward because they've nailed it. They've made the Switch so good that they've killed their own console. the 3DS doesn't exist anymore because the Switch exists. I just basically went on the attack that, I'm so sorry that I wasn't born in 2015, that's a thing. And I know a Nintendo console that isn't the fucking Wii. You morons.
And to back up his argument, Harry created a PowerPoint presentation, and on our YouTube channel you can see him with a laser pointer talking through the history of Nintendo.
I just wish there was a bit more to it.
Because I've referenced that, you know I have to do that.
So
I don't have to do anything. I'll edit this out. And they were just like, you like the Switch? How about if it was slightly bigger? And I was like, I do like that.
I would like that.
Do you like Joy-Cons? I do.
I do like that.
Do you like
Slightly bigger Joy-Cons?
Well, you've gone too far.
Reel it in.
That's probably like only for like multi-billionaires, Harry.
Do you like Zelda? Because you can only play it on the Switch too.
Yeah, I appreciate that they'll get me by the balls because they've got the games, right? I know I'll buy it.
Yeah,
and I'm
of
part of
course.
the problem. But I just wish that they had announced that you could get, I don't know, faceplates for it, or the Joy-Cons would be a bit more fun. It just looks bland, and I just wish it looked a bit more fun. Yeah.
Okay, so that's your rant of the week, but what else have you been up to?
I also put, fuck, I hate CEX staff. Why can't they move?
Okay.
Sorry, we're still ranting.
So I don't know why that was there. Went to CEX, in brackets, rival.
Yeah. Please.
And got mortally wounded by 2 teenage girls saying that Wii Sports was a relic.
Is that how you get the money
So that hurt.
That's
And then I obviously got angry by that comment because the next comment is, fuck, I hate CEX staff, why can't they move? A relic. Pick up a cartridge, mate.
When was...
If that's a relic, what are you?
I don't know, Beyond the relic.
Look, normally
Sounds like a really good metal album.
States, normally I'm all for kicking Harry down a few pegs, but he has just had pneumonia, so I'm going to be nice.
I can't take it. I'm on medicinal whiskey at the moment. Harking back to an older episode where I said that I would persevere and play Dragon Ball Z, I wimped out and decided to fuck that game. I sold it.
I literally listened to that episode the other day where you were like, no, I'm going to do it, no problem.
Oh yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Why?
It's just not fun. So the game had a bit of, not bad press, but a bit of negativity about the difficulty spike in it. And I could get over the difficulty spike if the story mode was good enough to compensate for it.
Right.
But it's shit. You load up Goku's story, but it only follows Goku's parts of the story. So you'll go through the opening scene where he gets killed by Piccolo, and then it's like you win that fight, and it just, in a manga panel, cuts to the Saiyans arrived, Nappa and Vegeta have turned up, and then you fight Nappa. Yes, dear, you have your hand up.
You spoke about this bit.
Sorry, I'll try not to repeat anything ever again. I've had pneumonia.
So he claimed. He doesn't own a cave.
And so my rant of the week is...
I don't have to put up with this shit. Anyway. The story just goes from panel to panel in the manga, but only through Goku's eyes. So you beat Vegeta and it's like blink and you're Namek.
Oh, really?
I know the Dragon Ball Z storyline. I've watched it loads of times. But it'd be nice if you're paying that sort of money for a game to have a cohesive story. So you'd then complete Goku's story and you'd play as Gohan and you'd fill the gaps with the story through him. And I was like, this is not how I want to play the game. I'm not willing to invest 40 hours in a game that's not fun.
No. Also,
And the combat was very samey.
Just do it as one linear timeline.
Yeah, Kakarot. If you're looking for a good Dragon Ball Z game, buy Kakarot. It's dirt cheap.
Yeah.
we
It
love
ticks
that.
all the boxes. It's good fun.
Would this be an upgrade on the last one, which was Sparking? Like, would you...
No, this is Sparking.
Oh, this is Sparking. What was the
Yeah.
one before this? Fighter Z or something like that, wasn't it called?
It's hard to compare Fighter Z because that was a 2D fighter.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
And I think
Different. And the one before that was Kakarot.
Yeah, because they've done this game before, I remember, because when I was listening back to the podcast, I was thinking, I have heard this before, but not from you, because you repeat yourself all the time. But I did think... Oh, that was...
Sorry, I was in CEX.
that was just going quick.
Right, so that is all pre-pneumonia, and now post-monia.
Nice.
Nice.
You're on a roll today.
Yeah, mate, I've had all my meds.
Oh my god.
And medicinal whiskey. I watched, obviously, in my little daisy state. Yeah, I was in my little cesspit of filth and illness and watch films. I decided I'd watch the Terrifier films. Now...
Yeah, right before you went to bed as well.
Oh my God.
I watched the trilogy in a day.
What?
Yeah, to the point where afterwards he was like, you know what, I've decided I shouldn't watch these things before trying to sleep.
No, what did I watch? I watched a nice little happy film after that. So I can't remember what it was. So have you got... Obviously, you haven't seen Terrifier. Have you seen Terrifier?
Yes, I've seen all three.
You've seen all three?
Yes.
Fuck me, when this guy
Absolutely
pulls
not.
out a gun, it's a mercy.
Yeah.
Right? If he pulls out a gun, you're hoping he pulls the trigger. This guy's unhinged.
It's such a... They're not like... They're just really upsetting films, if that makes sense. Like, you just feel for... Like, because usually when you watch a slasher film, because these are slashers, you watch them, you're like, oh, it's sort of funny, and obviously you see a few like, nice...
Good deaths.
You're like, yeah, well, I didn't really care about them. This one, I'm like, oh my God.
Please kill them.
I was like, Jesus Christ, put them out of their misery now. This is horrible.
What's it about?
About being terrified.
I see.
So there's a clown.
Mission accomplished.
They were like, we're going to make a Freddy Krueger, we're going to make a Halloween of this
A
generation.
low budget slasher.
Mask killer.
Okay.
And he's a weird looking deranged clown, and all he's doing, he's got his little rucksack around like his Father Christmas, but it's not full of presents. And there's a lot of people on the naughty list.
Violent Night, this is not.
No. And he basically just, in the first film especially, he just kind of hooks onto these two women and he's like, I need to kill these. Like, I just need to kill them. I'm just going to kill them. And he is weirdly funny because he doesn't talk. He's a mime. Mm-hmm. Like, when they're getting upset with him, he sort of does like a boo-hoo-hoo face and stuff like that. And then he'll proceed to, like, you know, string them upside down and make them naked and then get a hacksaw and work from the vagina down to the face and hack them in half.
Oh my God, I will not be watching
that
this.
classic banter.
Oh my God, that sounds horrific.
It was... I stopped.
With pneumonia.
I paused and I messaged Katinka in Australia because she recommended it to me and I was like, what the fuck, mate? What the fuck is this? She's like, it's fucking gnarly, isn't it? And I was like, it's pretty fucking gnarly.
I just sent a video to you flicking the V's. Fuck you, Harry.
I'd recommend it though.
Did you watch all three like back to back?
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, glutton for punishment.
Oh my God.
But what I like is that it starts off quite clearly as a low budget film. Like, the film one, I looked it up, had a budget of 50,000.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
Not a lot. And you can tell, like, by the acting standards, by the special effects. And then the second one had like 500,000.
Yeah.
Which obviously is a huge jump, but it's still very low budget. But it still made a lot of money. And then the third one come out, and I think they were given a $2.5 million budget.
Yeah.
And-
Because the third one's like quite recent as well. I think.
Yeah,
like
but
last year, I think.
Not that long for the trilogy, to be fair. He knocks them out every 18 months. And I think he's got 5 planned. Anyway, apart from that, what else? Oh yeah, I watched Hellboy 2019 very quickly. Don't understand the hate. It is not as good as the first two, which is fair enough. Not everything has to be as good as that. But it was still good. It was still fine. Some of the dialogue was a bit shit. You could tell they were adding some F-bombs for the sake of having F-bombs, and Paul McShane was just chewing up the scenery every time he's in there. But it's fine. It's good.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
Again, I don't have much connection to Hellboy as a comic. I like them, but I haven't read all of them. But I do just quite like that film. Like, if you wanted a dark, like gothic sort of violent 18 Hellboy film, then yeah, congratulations, you've got it.
I think the problem is that the original Hellboy films were so good when they came out. They didn't come out that long ago.
They did come out quite a while ago.
But not in the scheme of cinema.
I'll
Like,
say
I don't feel like you need a remake now. Like, because I'm intrigued to see David Harbour in it, but I'm like, well, is it going to add to it? We're glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
Indeed.
And that was it.
Back.
That was it. You've done nothing else. You've stood here in a fugue state until then.
I just repeated myself over and over until this podcast.
How?
Because otherwise I'll forget.
You know, this is the third time we've done the podcast, Harry.
What?
Wake up and do that.
Ben, what have you been up to?
Not a lot. Been working, can't talk about it. Although I did go to the Cotswolds for work last
Fancy.
week. For people who don't know, the Cotswolds is like it's a very nice part of the UK, isn't it? Have you been to the Cotswolds?
I haven't, but I'd really like to because
It's for anyone who's not in the UK, if you can think like in your heads now, think of a stereotypical English like village with the phone boxes and the sort of cottages and, you know, the fudge person down the road.
The fudge packer?
Yeah, the fudge packer. And you've nailed it. And that is essentially the Cotswolds. It's just countryside and rivers running through it and all that. Very nice place. I went there and I went to a lovely place called the Lygon Arms, or the Legan Arms to stay. And it is a beautiful 17th century hotel with a pool and a gym and very nice 4-poster beds. And I'll be honest, I had such a nice time there. The hotel has made me want to be a better man.
And just to clarify that you're only mentioning this hotel so that they invite you back for free.
Very much. I think I'm actually there next week. I think I'm going back there next week. For work, I can't afford it normally, but yeah, it's made me want to be a better person. They call you sir as well, which I don't like very much. No.
Oh, that's a bit much.
They call you sir everywhere, and they kind of like throw themselves out of the way of the hallway so you can go through, which is a bit weird.
Like, it's Mr. Sheridan, you?
That's exactly how I sounded, yeah, like an oil baron. I turned up in my top
twiddling your moustache.
Yeah, I turned up in a top hat and cane. I wrapped it on the desk a few times.
With your monocle?
Absolutely. Yeah. Which flew out in surprise at the price. Good God, man! But while I was there, I couldn't get Netflix or anything. But I could get BBC iPlayer, so I watched a TV show called SAS Rogue Heroes. So there's SAS Who Dares Wins, which is like, I think it's now everywhere. But that's like celebrities go and try and do like a fake version of the SAS training.
Okay.
But there's also a TV show about how the SAS starts, and there's 2 seasons of it now. Okay. But it's got people like the guy who wrote Peaky Blinders also did this show.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's really good. I really enjoyed the first season because it's fairly accurate, but it's also overhyped as well. Great soundtrack.
So it's like a lot of drug taking and...
Well, you'd think that, no.
Shotguns.
It's a lot of like fighting, and it's a lot of
orgies.
Just like... No.
I was just thinking of Peaky...
Oh, God, they're preaching.
I was just thinking of Peaky Blinders thing.
Okay, fair enough. No, it's almost exactly the opposite of that. Yeah, it's really good though. It's very dad TV. It's the way I describe it. It's very like your dad would sit down to watch this on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Why are you looking at Harry in the eyes?
I wasn't here, I was in the Cotswolds.
Because I always look at Harry in the eyes. But it's good. It's got a good cast. It's a bit over the top, and it's a bit like... But if you want just something which is like 8 episodes, and it's like fairly good history. I quite like military history anyway. So, yeah, it's quite fun. And
fairly goodish.
Fairly goodish.
That is a fucking great endorsement.
Fairly goodish. Yeah.
Ben Sheridan.
For me, that's...
3 out of 5.
For me, that's
fairly goodish.
For me, that is very high praise, and you know it.
Nice.
So, would highly recommend. I only played one new game. Carried on Cyberpunk, that's going good. Almost finished Dead Space the remake, that's also going great.
Mm-hmm. Did you enjoy your message from Harry?
I didn't enjoy the punch in the face I got afterwards. In the game, not like Harry just ran up to me.
Answer back!
Harry, this is my personal time.
What was it you sent through to him?
I know, I told him to start having a pokey bum wank and watch Squid Games.
Yeah.
Review coming soon.
And he can't
very soon.
And I'd already had my pokey bum wank, so actually, joke's on you.
We all know you've got terrific stamina.
I do, actually, thank you.
You'd have gone for a second, potentially a third.
Thank you, you're
not a fourth. That's ridiculous.
Come on, mate, I'm not weird.
What was Keanu Reeves' reaction to your pokey bum wank?
Nothing.
You're breathtaking.
That is breathtaking.
4 times. What a guy.
Whoa. Yeah. No, anyway, I downloaded and started to play Pacific Drive. Pacific Drive is a mechanics car fix-em-up game set in 1998, but it's a roguelite, and that's the best way I can describe it.
Is it indie?
Yeah, half indie, half like, but it got a very big release. It's one of Sony's like first-party studios, and it's literally set in 1998, and you're in a place called like The Zone, which is this place where like I don't know, like reality doesn't really work the way it should, etc. And the only way you can get through each zone and back to where you started is like you basically need to get enough resources and supplies to get out of it because you've found yourself trapped in it. But the only way you can get around is with a car. And this car you can upgrade, and like every now and again, like if it takes too much damage, its tyre will fall off like halfway through a run, so you've got to like fix that and craft it. And it's fairly fun. It sounds kind of boring.
No, I like roguelites.
But it's really like quite fun.
One more go.
Yeah, and
One
it's
more go.
yeah, and
That's
it's
the catch, isn't
and
it?
having the car as your sort of means of transport, and also is like
It makes you Mad Max.
yeah,
You're basically Mad Max.
I have done the Mad Max.
That's you in real life when you're in the car.
You love you in the car.
You repeated yourself, Harry.
Can you say that again, please?
He's got pneumonia back.
You're not funny.
You're pretty
Good-ish.
goodish. Pretty goodish.
Good-ish.
But yeah, just a very fun, like, because you've only got a certain amount of space in your boot of the car, so you're like, oh, do I take a wheel? But then I do also like take this thing to scavenge resources quicker, and
Where
there's
do you
things.
put your spare tyre?
I put it in the boot. Put it in the boot. But it's also very funny because sometimes you'll just be driving, and then if you haven't fixed things correctly, like your car will just go through malfunctions.
Where do you put your, like, that triangle you're supposed to keep in the back of the car with the
Road
flashlight?
don't bother with it, mate.
You don't.
You are mental.
Health and safety.
In the
means
US. In the US, don't need one. I've got a ton of road flares though, so I just chuck them out the window for a laugh. I've got so many road flares in the game. But yeah, really fun game, and also I like cars, so it's quite fun to be like tinkering with little weird things in a game. Stacey, what have you been up to?
So, I've been looking after Harry, so that's taken up the majority of my
By
time.
looking after you, you've been mocking me about how I drive and that I repeat everything.
I mean, it's been hard because it was difficult to know whether it was the pneumonia or the dementia setting in.
Oh my god, he really kicked it when he's down today. God, Stace.
We watched a fun, random film called Hundreds of Beavers.
Now I've seen a film like this before, but it but it was a while ago. And you had
I think it was the different film.
you had to be over 18. I had to really verify it as well.
So Harry was really excited to show me this film, and he was like, it's a bit of you, and I was like, okay. And he put it on, and it was unlike anything I've ever seen then.
I really want to watch this because I've heard another podcast talking about this and sort of
Another
giving it a praise.
podcast? You've listened to another podcast?
I was listening to it. And I was
There are no other podcasts.
You podcast
Where
whore.
can you get quality like that? Nowhere.
So, anyway, you were listening to another podcast.
I was listening to BBC Gardeners World.
Of all the podcasts.
They were really raving about it. They've got some really in-depth knowledge in that show. Because they were also talking about this, and they also said the same thing. It was just they didn't tell me anything about it. They said like just go and watch it. Just go and watch it. So
That
like,
is the best endorsement.
so
Yeah.
I'm going to say like I would like to go and see it. Don't tell me anything more about it.
Well, the thing is, even if I wanted to tell you what it was about, I genuinely couldn't. We watched the whole thing and I went, I don't know how we can describe the film.
It's a fever dream.
All I can say is it's a black and white comedy. It's mostly silent. They don't speak in anything, but you'll hear the odd kind of grunt or noise or whatever.
Murmurs.
And the only thing I want to say about it is that most of the budget for the film was spent on costumes.
Beaver costumes. And rabbit costumes.
I'm so on board.
And there are moments in the film where, like, it's genuinely laugh out loud because you're kind of like, this is just ridiculous. And then there are moments where you pause it and you be like, what the fuck am I watching?
The beavers eventually build a spaceship.
It's basically about one man's survival.
Okay, leave it there. Leave it there.
Is that how you
Because I want to know
describe
how we
it?
get from one man's survival to a beaver building
To
a
hundreds of
spaceship.
beavers. I would say it's not for the faint-hearted. So, like, if you like really mainstream things, I wouldn't watch it.
No.
Because it's gonna just be like.
I wouldn't watch this I wouldn't just sit and watch it. It's no Terrifier.
Apart from that, we also in our group chat the other day we started talking about the Academy Awards coming up, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I turned to Harry and I said, can we, because we're planning on writing down our nominations in advance, right? So it's me versus you and
Yeah,
the loser will do a forfeit. So I said, to help me out with this situation, can we watch one of these Academy Award winning films so that I know, like, you know, some more about them and I can choose and blah, blah, blah. So do you know what we watched? We watched Puss in Boots. One Last Wish. From 2 years ago.
Is that Academy Award nominated?
No.
Should be.
It wasn't
Is
even.
it and is it up for nominations this year?
No, it was
Should
like,
be.
So why did you watch it?
I don't know. We were like, yeah, we should do that. Oh, wait, here's Puss in Boots.
You could go and see The Brutalist right now in cinema.
Yes, you could. But
You could go and see. You could go watch Emile Perez right now on Netflix.
well, Puss in Boots was on Netflix, and this is how
Oh
we came
my
to
god!
it.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's great. It's actually got a really stellar cast as well.
It's got a really good story.
We all know Antonio Banderas, isn't it? As Puss, obviously, but it's also got Selma Hayek and I can't remember his name.
Andrew from Big Mouth.
But Andrew from Big Mouth is by far the best character
He's
in
the
it.
fun. What's his name?
Little Jack Warner.
That's it.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Andrew from Big Mouth. Yeah. Oh, actually, no. I suppose when I
It's
listen to it back, yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious. He is hilarious.
That was the first film that had come out post Spider-Verse, which was like, yeah, we're going to make our own kind of style for this, and it.
I had no idea
really
it had that
works.
kind of animation because it's split, isn't it? The film is half Shrek animation
Yeah.
when they're doing storytelling, but then when action happens,
It goes,
it cuts into
switches.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
I found that a bit weird at times, but the jump between them, rather.
Yeah.
When it was in one of the styles, it was great. Well, we were watching it, and this prompted the question: has Antonio Banderas made more money from Puss in Boots or Zorro?
Puss in Boots, 100%.
Because they left it on a cliffhanger as well, where you see him looking up far, far away, almost like the story's going to continue.
Well, he
far,
says,
far
I'm going to
away.
go visit some old friends.
Yeah. Is there another Shrek film though?
Shrek 5 has been announced, so they might all go back
Yeah,
to
Shrek films only get made when Labour are in power. And,
Is that true?
yeah, there was no Shrek film.
So
where-
again, I don't want to make this a political show, but this is not another reason to vote for the left. Because we get more Shrek.
It was very good.
Oh, nice. I'm glad you liked it.
But apart from that, we've been binge watching the third UK season of The Traitors. Have you ever seen it?
I've seen a few episodes. I haven't actually watched all of it.
So it's basically like a big fancy show of wink murder.
Yeah, it's
hosted.
it's like Werewolf or something. You can murder people on there.
It's exactly like the werewolf game,
Yeah.
board game, which
Yeah.
I'm glad you referenced because that's going to come back into in a second.
Nice.
Hosted by Claudia Winkleman in Scotland. They have a big old fancy castle and all this stuff. And a couple of them are traitors, and they're the ones that murder the other
Yeah.
players. And if you come through to the final, if there's a traitor, they steal all the money.
Yeah.
And if they're all faithful, or there's more than one faithful, they split the money between the faithful and
So
the
it's in,
traitors.
it's in your best interest to be a traitor and get all the way to the end because you'll keep the entire prize pot.
Yes and
Well-
no, because traitors, yes, if they get to the final, have ultimate power, but you see them crack. Like,
Right.
if they end up being a traitor for too long because you're worrying about every lie that you make, because obviously the more lies you make, you're tripping over yourself, and it's tough.
You said you were left-handed, Ben, but I've distinctly seen you wanking off with your right.
Also, stop wanking off.
I saw you did a Punky Bum one the other day, and I specifically remember you said you hated Punky Bum ones.
So, spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't seen it, but there were a couple of standout moments. There was a lady called Linda who was a traitor.
Was that the older?
She's an older lady.
Yes, I did.
No
see.
one young is called Linda, Ben. Oh, mate.
And she was known for just being really, really bad, but like theatrical bad.
Yeah, because I saw an episode with her on it, and like they kicked out a faithful or something like that, and she just went full on Shakespeare on it. It's just like, oh my god, I never thought so. It's like
Yeah.
full on crying.
She cried. Yeah.
And
Just like,
the
oh.
whole room is silent, and they look at her like, really? And from the beginning, Claudia says, like, to the room, right, traitors, blah, blah, blah. And she immediately turns her head, and someone's clocked it and is like, I think she's a traitor. But some of the people that go on it, like, do some really mad stuff just to try and throw each other off. So there was a lady called Leanne who was in the British Army for years.
12 years.
12 years. So she's...
sorry, because I remember
Ben's just had a stroke.
Sorry, no, because I remember seeing her on the thing. I mean, like, fucking hell, you're attractive. And it comes up like her, like ex-soldier, and I was like, oh, I love you even more now.
So yeah, she's incredibly fit, and when they're not murdering or voting each other off, they do like challenges to win
Yeah.
money and stuff. And she didn't reveal that she was in the army.
She ran a nail salon or something.
Yeah, because she didn't want people to think she was stronger than she was. She wanted to be a bit, whatever.
Clever.
So they did this challenge where they had to lug like huge, heavy weights up the top of the hill. And she was like, I do this every day. It was a piece of piss, but I had to pretend that I couldn't do it because
Some of the guys had 2 people per one, and she literally just chucks it on her shoulder and just goes.
yeah.
And then she had to occasionally just drop it and be like, yeah, God, it's bloody
so
heavy,
heavy.
right? Oh.
God, I love her.
And then there was another woman who was
Charlotte?
who was from London and decided to have a Welsh accent for the entire game.
Why?
Because she thought that being Welsh made her more trustworthy. But what's funny is, I actually think she did it to get picked as a traitor at the start, and she didn't get picked. And then she was like, oh, fuck, I've got to do this accent now.
But the most awkward part was that there was a genuine Welsh person, and she was like, oh no, I'm going to get made.
Yeah, and they were talking about like Welsh, the language, and she was like, oh, I don't really know
My
it.
mother talks Welsh, I don't. But one of them got given the power to basically go, I am going to find out what you are.
The seer power.
The seer power, yeah. They won the challenge. And and she, out of the blue, picked the traitor.
Which was so random. She happened to pick.
Oh, no.
And you could just see Charlotte's face drop. And it was like, Charlotte, you've been summoned to reveal your identity. And she's like, cool. But she was like a James Bond villain. Like afterwards, she's like sipping her champagne. She's like, yeah, well, after this meeting, I'll be going back to being a faithful. And Frankie was like, are you going to say that I'm a traitor? And she's like, yeah, I'm going to pin it on you.
So the next morning, Frankie comes in and was like, because everyone's like, oh, what did you find out? And she's like, she's a traitor. And she was like, what? Why would you say that? I said I was a faithful. You just lied. You're a traitor.
I don't know who would. I think you'd get it all the way to the end, Harry.
That's what I said.
I think you'd go.
I'd upset someone. I'd say something too ludicrous.
I feel like I don't know how far you'd get, Stace. I feel like you'd either get really far or you'd crumble immediately.
Yeah, I think I would be pretty good till the end as a traitor because I think I'd go under the radar.
Yeah,
a
you'd be
lot.
quiet. I think you'd just be kept nice and quiet in the background.
But when the pressure comes, I probably would crumble like a bitch.
Stacey, do you want the tea bag left in, or do you want it taken out? I am a traitor. I'm so sorry, I'm a traitor. I put the tea bags near there. I knew you'd do it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that would be me.
I wouldn't even make it into the castle.
But bringing it back.
Claudia would have been like, go.
you know.
But bringing it back to the werewolf game,
Yeah.
because the seer power is a power in the werewolf
Yeah, it
game.
is.
So I wonder whether they're just having different powers in the, like, releasing one a season. So I'm wondering whether on the next season they'll do something like, I can't remember the proper name
And
for
after
it, but
5 seasons, they get the Infinity Gauntlet, yeah.
the twin power, you know,
And then there's another
Cupid one.
There's another one which is the hunter power and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
In the final one, if they play it to the actual werewolf specifications, they will be allowed to execute 2 of them. Claudia's just going to give them a gun. Like, there you go. Pick 2 of them, and then you can just execute them.
Nice.
You'll never find out if they're faithful or traitors, but that is just the way this game goes.
That's the way it goes. It's a harsh reality.
Yeah. God, I love the BBC.
Well, talking of killing people,
Speaking of games and deception,
speaking of games of deception, shall we get on with the review?
Let's play Monopoly.
let's get on with Risk!
So this week we're going to be reviewing Squid Games. It's our first TV series, guys. How we're feeling?
I'm feeling good.
So I'm going to start with a quick summary, just in case you haven't seen it, but I feel like most people have. So it's about hundreds of cash-strapped players who accept a strange invitation to compete in children's games. Inside the games, a tempting prize awaits with deadly high stakes, a survival game that has a whopping 45.6 billion won prize at stake. It's a South Korean drama. Season 1 aired, I think, 3 years ago, and the story, to be fair, I think wrapped up nicely at the end of season 1 with maybe a few loose ends, but I think we can all agree that Squid Games became an absolutely international phenomenon.
I'd like to know, if you haven't got any trivia, how much that amount of money is in Great British pounds?
I don't. Yeah, I'm sure Ben's looked it up.
How much
Because I looked it up last night. So what was it?
45.6 billion
billion won is equivalent to about 25 million in UK
Oh,
sterling.
it's a decent chunk.
So, season 1 had a budget of 21.4 million US dollars. It then held the record for being the number 1 most viewed season in 92 regions.
Wow! I didn't know that.
So, we'll be reviewing season 2, which is set 4 years after Ji-hun won the Squid Games. He gives up on going to the United States and he returns to the game with the intent of stopping them once and for all. It's written and directed by Hwang Dong-hyuk. Hopefully I pronounced these all correctly. And of course it stars Lee Jung-jae as player 456. And I'm going to also mention Lee Byung-hun as the front man. Player 1. So season 2 had a budget of approximately 82 million US dollars.
Really?
Ooh.
So they've dramatically increased the budget for this show.
I think it's very impressive, especially as Netflix is so broad. And let's face it, South Korean dramas weren't exactly a hot topic. And it come out and it smashed it, didn't it? It really did. It took over the world, like you say. I remember not really knowing anything about Squid Game. And then when it dropped, it was all my Facebook feed was just dripping with it. YouTube, it was all just Squid Game. To the point where you kind of had to watch it because you had to see what the fuss was about.
Yeah.
A bit like Game of Thrones syndrome, when people were like swept up. Everyone had to know.
Yeah. No, I do remember it being like, because I think it's like it dropped at the right time because this is also essentially a battle royale
Essentially.
show. This is essentially, it's the same kind of format, 100 people go in, one person comes out or should come out. And I think at the time that was still really massive.
So we're going to go into this review. We're going to try to do it spoiler free. So we'll just kind of talk through the beginning,
We'll do what we can.
the beginning of the season, and then we'll kind of pause and let you know when we get into real spoiler territory.
Yeah, and I think as well, just to clarify for people, that obviously there are certain things which happen in episode 2 and episode 3, which are like big twists for that episode. We're going to have to talk about those.
Yeah.
Sadly, but then there are points because obviously
It's all on Netflix. Just watch it on Netflix.
Yeah, literally, man,
just watch it on Netflix.
Or just
If
watch.
you haven't watched it by now, where are you? So we open season 2 with Ji-hun, who has spent his years trying to re-find the Squid Game. So he's spent his winnings on hiring a private detective squad to track down the original recruiter. And you also see the police officer guy who got shoved off a cliff, I think, at the end of season 1. Right?
Yeah, he got shot by his brother.
The police officer guy is a traffic cop, and he ends up teaming up with Ji-hun to try and find the Squid Games. So we spend quite a majority of the beginning of the season not in the Squid Games. How did you feel about this?
I thought it was okay. I think at some point they're going to go back into it. Like, you just know that's going to happen because it's called Squid Game Season 2. Like, at some point there will be a game with squid in it. I assume I haven't watched the show. But, like, I like the kind of, like, tracking it down and all that because it's sort of a bit... I like his strategy for doing it, which was that, he puts people on every station and, like, someone's got to find it at this exact specific point in time and then follow him round. And is it the same guy from the first one?
The slappy guy?
Yeah.
Is it the same? Okay, it's been annoyingly because it's a high budget show. It's been 3 years since I watched the last one. I thought it was quite good. I think it was.
There was a little nod to season 1 in their interaction. I don't know if you know.
No.
So they have a little fun game of Russian roulette.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah, so they find the recruiter, and then he turns out to be an absolute...
He's a little bit unhinged.
dickhead.
Very unhinged.
Yeah, he's a bit mental. He fucking hates bread as well. He really hates bread.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
He's on a
And the
diet.
poor. He hates bread and the poor.
I hate one of those things. I'll let you decide.
And also, it's not a fair thing in that episode. When he stamps it, he's like, oh, I gave you all the choice. It's like, no, you didn't. You didn't tell me you were going to stamp on the bread at the end of it, you fucking lunatic. But if you're not going to do that, I would have taken the bread. Are we going to stamp
Also, if you think you're going to stand on it, it's going to stop me from eating it.
Exactly. You have grossly overestimated my palate.
But when they're having their little bit of a showdown, it comes down to a game of roulette, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember in season 1, when the main character, I can't remember his name, that's the one, he pulls out a gun on him. I don't know if you remember this. And he shoots it and it's a lighter.
Oh, yeah, because it was meant to be a gift for his daughter, wasn't it?
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, so he pulls the gun on the guy who's recruited by the games, and he pulls the trigger, and he's like, ha ha ha, it's just a lighter. And then in season 2, he's ha ha ha, I've got a fucking revolver. Yeah.
It will light up something, but not this. I think I really liked his first bit, which was the rock, paper, scissors. Because he plays that in that episode. When it's like rock, paper, scissors between the two guys that's been tailing him.
Oh, yeah. So I found that quite interesting because at parts, and this is throughout the season, I found that it goes between absolute horror, so the rock, paper, scissors, you're going to shoot each other kind of thing, right from a real anime hilarity moment. Because when they're like tracking this recruiter down and they're all on the text, it's very much, it's so anime, isn't it? It's like, da, 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 oh, we found him.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're shooting each other.
I think that's what this does really well, though. I will disagree with that. What was it? Jihan's decision, though, at the end of that episode, because they bring it up in the show as well, which is that obviously they play Russian roulette and they've got it's one bullet in the chamber, isn't it, for that bit?
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah, they start to lose bullets and then go down to one.
Yeah. So in the when he and Jihan are playing opposite each other. Mm-hmm. But then he's literally got the revolver and obviously they're both clicking it to each other. And he even says, you've got 2 rounds left. What's to stop you from just pointing at me and pulling the trigger a few times? Mm-hmm. And so but you'd have to admit that you won by luck. I would have been like, yeah, fine. Who's going to know? You're dead. I even from the beginning, as soon as it spun around, it pointed at me at that point. I'm like, okay, bang, 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 bang. And I just would have done it.
It's an attitude like that, Ben, while you're recruiting people for the Squid Game.
It's just so like, I was like, what are you doing? What do you have to prove to this guy? You've got so much money.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
But that kind of sums up the Squid Games in general, right? Is that although it's a horrible game, technically it's fair. There is no disadvantage.
Yeah.
There's no advantages. And also, if you want to quit, you can quit. Like, they try to go like, these are the rules, and we follow the rules.
Yeah.
There's no bending them. They are horrific rules.
Yeah.
But they do set...
But that's the same in episode 2 as well. They say, like, it's... like, everyone was there of their own free will.
I really like how everyone in the Squid Game company... Squid Inc., if you will.
Oh.
Thank you.
You've been thinking of that for a while.
Oh, that honestly just came to me.
I like that. Squid Corp.
Everybody on the payroll, including the recruiter, is like... Where do they find these people? They're like...
Craigslist.
You can find anything on Craigslist. This episode is sponsored by Craigslist.
They just go into like prisons and being like, so...
I liked that. A massive shock was at the end of episode 2 with that woman when she gets onto the truck.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, she's part of the game. It's like, no, she's not part of the game. She's part of the staff. Yeah. And I was like, oh,
that was a new twist as well, because you see a little bit of them in season 1, but only
the human side isn't there for you to see.
No,
you don't see the people behind the masks.
We've gone on a bit of a tangent here, but to answer your first original question, I wasn't a massive fan of them rehashing the first season in the second season. And I appreciate that they have to get into the games somehow, but I wasn't a massive fan on spending 2 hours of him getting to the games after I'd already seen him do that in season 1.
Mm.
Yeah.
Also, where's his hair? At the end of season 1, he has sexy... Is it red hair?
It was sexy red hair.
Or was it sexy blue hair?
It was red hair.
Red hair.
Yeah, because he'd gone God mode.
And it was fucking terrible. Yeah. It was terrible.
That's what the whole thing is a reference to, like, oh my God, look at this one God mode, lads.
I can't remember, but I agree with you. It did feel long in places, but I did also like a few of the insights they gave. And I'm glad they didn't go straight in, because you need some build-up, right?
Yeah. I just feel a bit frustrated because you wait so long for the season 2 to come out, and then it releases to, 8 episodes?
Yeah.
8 episodes, and 2 of them, a quarter of the episodes, are not wasted, but...
Yeah.
Well, during the opening bit, you see that Jihan, with all of his billions of won, has bought an entire sex hotel and turned it into an absolute armory.
I liked that.
I just like the idea that like sex workers just keep turning up at the hotel and they're like, hello, and he's like, not you, but you maybe. You can come in.
I do charge. Maybe he's a good landlord. I charge room and board.
It did seem a bit random though, because he only reveals it right at the end, doesn't he? And it's almost like you'd want to have that if you're raising an army to go and defeat the Squid Games, but he's not really, is he? He's just keeping it to himself. It did seem a bit...
Also, if you wanted to find out about the Squid Games, you had the perfect opportunity in season 1 when you met the founder. I probably would have probed him for some questions.
Oh yeah, that was him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's probably a journal there or something, or a phone.
You've been playing too many video games.
Day 1, I set up the Squid Games on this island. Oh!
Day 2 went wrong.
I'm just saying, there's probably a phone, it's got like sun.
Day 3, hopscotch? Question mark.
Honeycomb.
And then you also see the police officers been going out on tugboats to try and find the island, but has made no success.
Never found it. If you'd been out I was just thinking, it's like if you'd been out every day for 2 years, and I get there's a lot of islands around, like South Korea. And
Probably try the island where you found the body. Right?
Might be a good idea.
That's
but
right.
It's also like it was just like you wouldn't have found anything at this point. So it's like, right. So the twist is either going to be this island just isn't in South Korea or something like that. Like it's somewhere completely different. That would have been kind of an interesting twist. Or someone is deliberately not stopping him from finding it.
Could be lost.
Could be lost.
Could be Lost Island.
It could be Lost Island. That's what they say in episode 2. It's like, have you considered it could be Lost Island?
Could be a lost situation.
And they went, well, yeah, the island is lost until I find it. He goes, no, the TV show. And he's going to go...
J.J. Abrams.
Was that a good show?
Sometimes it was good.
Yes.
Oh, nice. How many seasons was that?
I love the idea that Harry would be the captain of the boat, and he's like, well, which fucking island did you find it?
I'm just saying, the Switch 2, it's got some features.
It's got some redeeming qualities, but overall, I feel like it could have done more with
Well, I just don't know, like, am I ready for Mario Kart 9? I could be, I could not be. Where you gone?
The guy's outside going, he's going on about the Switch 2 again.
We haven't even left port.
So they team up, as I say, and they give him like a tracker molar in his mouth.
Yeah.
And then he basically ends up going back into the games, and surprise, surprise, they find that molar and
They find that, but they don't find the woman's knife that she stores in her hairband.
or the necklace of drugs. So they get into the games, and straight away, pretty much, you get introduced to new characters. You've got the mum, you've got the son, you've got the boy band guy with the necklace of drugs.
Thanos.
You've got the military guys, and you've got his childhood friend as well. How did you feel worried for that childhood friend?
Okay, because I can't remember. Was the childhood friend in season 1?
No.
No. No, he's introduced into this,
Yeah,
and they lost contact.
Yeah.
Because they even bring up, like, I know I owed you money and all this stuff.
Yeah, and there's also a pregnant lady and the potential father there as well. Did you, like, new characters being introduced?
Some of them were more noticeable than others. Some of them are a bit forgettable. I thought Pregnant Lady was forgettable. I thought Crypto Boy was forgettable.
Crypto Boy was completely forgettable. I thought... And again, Thanos is fine, but he does do the same role as the guy, as the criminal from the last season, where he's just the one who's a bit unhinged and doesn't...
Bit of a prick.
Yeah, and the only reason I kind of remembered who he was because of his purple hair. I think there's more in this time.
Well, the drama's different because last season you were rooting for him to win. This season you're not rooting for the same thing, are you? Like, even in their own group, they have a divide where some of them are like, well, I'm going to stay.
Yeah.
And some of them are like, no, you need to fucking leave, you idiot. And so you're not cheering for the same thing as season 1. I think that's an interesting dynamic.
And yeah, you obviously see 001 as I'm going to say 001, it sounds fancy, as the front man. And obviously he befriended 001 before. So are we thinking, he should really learn a lesson there?
Yeah. Fool me once.
Fool me 00 once. Shame on me.
And the big question is, does he reveal that he knows about the Squid Games or does he not?
So he does reveal.
Yeah, because he gets them. He gets quite a few of them through the first game, which is red light, green light again. Because he literally says like, I was a bit like, I was worried at that point because I thought, are we just going to do these same challenges again?
And they even tease, because he has a dream sequence, the honeycomb. And I was very much like, fuck's sake, they're just going to rinse and repeat. And luckily, they don't.
No.
They just do red light, green light, because I think that doll is iconic.
It for sure is, but I do think it's questionable because he was obviously covering his mouth so that he wouldn't be seen shouting at them all. But I swear to God that he made more movement sometimes than some of those that died.
I would say that those motion trackers work for plot. It's like they're like, you know, till it's left. It's like, yeah, that's moving. That's literally moving.
What I particularly like is how you can see everyone thinks they're just playing a game. And then after the first shooting, you can see that people go, oh shit, shit, and widespread panic. And that's exactly how it would be. Everyone just kind of go, oh, it's just a game, we just got to win the game. Oh my God, he's been shot in the face.
I think it starts like all horror films with a bee.
With the bee?
Yeah, the bee lands on there, doesn't it? And she's like, shit, and didn't she?
Yeah.
I've seen Bee Movie.
Similar vibes.
Very similar vibes. You also saw the opposite side of it. You saw her doing the shooting. You saw the North Korean defector then with the sniper rifle doing the shooting. Yes. I thought it was kind of an interesting, and
killing people that she shouldn't be.
Yeah, that was there.
Because obviously at that point they're trying to wound.
So they shoot someone in the leg and then she shoots them in the chest or head or something.
Which we still don't know what's the entirety of that.
Yeah.
It's hinted on.
Yeah. So they get through the first game and then it's obviously revealed Jihan has been here before. They all ask for his advice. He's pretty certain we're going to go into the honeycomb game. So they all know they're going to go for the triangle. They all line up ready and surprise, surprise, it's a new game. Mm-hmm. And it's a 6-legged race around an obstacle course. And they have to do various challenges throughout the obstacle course in, I think it's 3 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Did you like them?
Yeah, I think that's right. They're all childhood games, aren't they?
Yes, so there's like the classic flippy
Pogs
thing that they do in the recruitment.
Yeah, what's the British variant of
it? It was Pogs.
Pogs. They do the one where you have to throw
Beyblade.
A rock. They have to do Beyblade. They do the one where you throw a rock at another rock. We would call that
Hello Neighbour.
We would call that bricky. We would call that bricky through window.
Yeah.
Bricky through window.
Yeah, you can't.
Conkers.
Classic game of bricky through window. Then you've got you've got keepy uppies.
Keepy uppies.
Oh, yeah.
You literally got keepy uppies. And what was the last one? Oh, the one where you chuck things in the air and
the ball jacks. Playing jacks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jacks. Remember those?
No, I just made that up. What is jacks?
What did you think of having a new game, and did it work as well as
you did need
the
to
others?
You needed to have something different because otherwise it wouldn't make sense for the Squid Games to also do like the same thing again. So my theory is because they knew Jihan was coming back into the games, that he'd have an unfair advantage. So it's like, right, well, we change the games completely.
Yeah,
I think that is something that they maybe didn't. I think that's also why 001 was in there with them at the same time because he wanted to gauge exactly how he would react to this sort of stuff.
I like to think that he was really smug when they were all like, oh yeah, this is the honeycomb game. And he was like,
yeah. He was doing a wanker sign behind him.
Is it?
Did you see it on the wide shot?
What did you think?
I really enjoyed the fact they've got new games. A bit in the same way that you watch a Saw film, you're kind of watching it for the traps. You're like, oh, I wonder how it's going to be this film because I want to see what disgusting traps they've got. And this is the same sort of thing. You're watching it being like, oh, I can't wait to see what games they have and what horrible twists they've got. And yeah, it starts off, like you say, really playful and it's all rainbow rooms. And it's like, oh my God, but all we have to do is 6 games and 3 minutes.
It's fine.
It's fine. You know, it's 30 seconds per game. And some of them can be done, if you're lucky enough, like the Pogs, can be done in 5 seconds if you've got someone who's good at pogging. I'm a poggers champ.
Absolutely.
I'd be all over that.
You're an absolute poghead.
I'd be pogging out.
Absolutely. Can't stop this guy from pogging.
They'd be like, oh, he's pogged everywhere. I thought it was very good. And it's horrible because obviously 2 teams participate at the same time. And a lot of the time, one team will succeed and it's all like, yeah. And then whilst they're celebrating, you just hear off
like
camera, you know it's the other team getting annihilated. Now, little fan theory here. The reason why they go last, I personally think, is because 001 is part of that team. And if they lost, I think they would shoot everyone barring 001, and 001
Yeah.
would go back in the game.
That's a good idea.
yeah.
Because they wouldn't be able to, obviously.
Because you
kill him.
can't kill the front man.
No.
It'd make
Yeah.
the next staff meeting very awkward.
You
Gonna
do
go through your performance
see.
review.
You do see some very early pairings that you just know they're going to make it through at least a couple of games. So you see, obviously, the main group, but you also see the transgender woman, the
Mum and son.
mum and son, and you just know again that they're going to make it through at least a few of
Yeah.
these. But I'll tell you the bit.
Thanos. He's going to make
Thanos
it. yeah.
as well. I'll tell you the bit that really upset me the most. The whole game takes place on a sand pit, essentially. That's a nightmare to clean after you've got blood all over it, isn't it?
Is it? Oh,
No, it's
no.
easier.
Or just scoop it up.
Yeah, just-
From my kitchen days, if you had
Oh, yeah,
oil,
yeah. Just keep
you
it
put sand in it, you just sweep it up.
yeah.
No, I've
They're
had
working smart.
They are working smart and harder.
Yeah, and we wore those pink jumpsuits. And this was before Squid Game.
You also see, I think actually, to be fair, it's between the two games, but you see Thanos open his necklace and start taking drugs. Now, I don't know about you guys.
It made him fearless, though.
Yeah, I
not
get
what you need.
it, and you need a bit of escapism, but don't you really want to be on your A game?
I mean, if I was on his team, I'd be quite concerned.
If you're going to share the drugs, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm
but
all for
it
it.
can't just be one of us on the drugs. And I think as well, because you know now there is a main character in Jihan, I do think some of the threat had gone from some of the games because you know he was going through.
Yeah, that's true. So they come out of this game, whoever survives, and they have their first vote off, I think, where they can vote to.
Second vote off this is.
Oh, they had their second vote off. So they have a number of vote offs where they can choose to stay in the game, or they can choose to leave and no repercussions. And
And they still get a split of the prize pot.
yes.
Yeah.
And they do this in the first season as well, but I guess in this season it's much more back and forth, isn't it? Because there are a lot of people being like, just one more,
Yeah.
one more. And there's a split as well between some of the characters. So the mum and son, she's
like
like, don't be a fucking idiot, let's leave. And he actually goes against her at one
Well, I
point.
remember in season 1 they leave. I think it sounds horrible. I think I'd have the same mentality.
Just one more.
One more game. Because I would be looking around going, like, well, odds on I would probably still have the next one as well.
That's a gambler's mentality.
That is a
isn't it?
gambler's mentality.
I
But-
would be that woman that's crying, going, but I can't do this.
Oh, Don, no, keepy uppies. So I think I would be like, all right, one more game, and then we'll go through. Because again, like they even say in it that like after round 1 and 2, it's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
Which again,
Now you need to go through a few rounds, kill off a few bods.
yeah.
And they don't like the fact that too many survive because they're like, fuck's sake, the prize pot hasn't gone up.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's not them.
I really like the fact that on their chest they have the X or the circle.
That was new, I think.
Yeah,
wasn't
it's new.
Is it?
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
But
incident.
I like the fact it shows you their allegiance and
Splits the group.
seeing as from a country that's had quite a close vote from
When?
leaving somewhere. It's quite interesting to see.
Yes, indeed, isn't it?
What would you have decided to do?
I probably would have picked one and then after a couple of years regretted
the decision.
and got back.
Even though his friend at the time said to him, probably best to do this decision, maybe. And he went, no, no, no.
I would say I never doubted that they wouldn't leave because that would kind of spoil the premise of season 2, wouldn't it, really? If they left.
If they copied it beat for beat for season 1,
Yeah,
it'd be too much.
too much.
I think the biggest split is like 6 or 7 between them.
Also, like 001, I really liked.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
started to like him, and I remembered who he was. I was like, no, you can't like him. I
He
was
was
kind of
almost
like,
like a different character.
because I thought maybe he was in it just to see what it was like, and then to sort of see. And I thought he was starting to warm to people because it's like, oh, you're not just like useless wastes of space. You're actually like people who have got thoughts and feelings and aspirations. And I thought maybe that was going to start like turning him as well. I thought, are you going to start turning against Squid Games as well?
Yeah.
No,
No, actually not.
most definitely not.
No, it doesn't happen.
So they all stay, quite obviously, and whoever has survived up to this point, we go into our third and another new game called Mingle, I believe, where they're stood on a round...
Something I do a lot. To mixed results.
It's a nightmare for introverts.
Just a lot of small talk about the weather.
What you got to do?
I hate that.
You got to go in
What
and
are you
make.
watching?
Have you seen The Switch 2?
Yeah.
I'm leaving this room.
Kill me now. Kill me now. So they go in, they stand on a circular platform that spins. They shout out a number, and you've got to grab that many people, and you've got to make it into a little room, and you can only have that number of people in the room.
Took me a go to get that concept. So I
Same.
did not understand it.
Same.
You know, you're just like, can I have a practice round? I'd have been dead. I was like, I've never been able to pinpoint exactly when I died in Squid Games. It would have been that moment because I'd have like, I just need a practice round, guys, please. I don't know what's going on.
And I'm not very good at maths, so I would have been like 1, 2, oh fuck.
They've all left.
Oh my god, it's morning.
What did you think? Did you like it?
I got frustrated by that game. I thought that was the easiest game to survive. I'm like, you're already in a group of like 12 people. Just stay in that group. Because if they're like, I need you to be in a room with 3 people, you're like, well, there's 12 of us. 4 per go. Let's go. I need it to be 9. You can split. You can. I don't know.
Is that because this is like the game for you? Because you're quite quick on maths and.
It's basic maths.
Yeah, but.
And you 4 people. Okay, well, I'm one
not
person.
advanced maths here.
No,
sorry.
I
So
know.
I need another one of me, and another one of me, and then another one of me.
And then there's me who's like,
Okay,
Harry,
right.
slow down, please. And bear in mind, you've kicked me out of the group already.
No, but Harry's quite a logical thinker, and I can just see you getting frustrated with everyone else because, like, you're like, well, this is what we do. Go.
Well, yeah, but that's what you need in that game because
You do.
the rooms are going to be getting snapped up quite quick. So you've just got to be like, right, let's fucking go.
I think, yeah, I would have
Push over the elderly.
Absolutely. I hate to say it, but yeah, you've got to think for yourself there, mate.
Yeah.
That old woman, get out.
I wouldn't just push them out of the way. I'd be kicking. I'd go for their ankles while the room's spinning.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah,
I
taking
would
them
be.
down, slam down.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. I would say that this game, more than any, we started wondering how many are actually in the games. There seem to be loads of people dying all the time. And
There's a lot of it, yeah.
in your theory, like the more they whittle down the numbers, there'd be more space, more room. So it should be fairly easy.
Yeah.
He does work it out. I mean, like 001 does work it out with quotation marks at the end. It's like, oh, it's going to be 2 because there's not enough rooms. Which I thought was quite good. Oh,
He definitely survives a round because at one point he doesn't make it into a room.
I was just about to bring this up,
and
yeah.
he definitely just stays out there and he's like, obviously don't shoot me, you fucking idiot. Triangle, I'm looking at you. I see you. No, down. Put down. Put down. Good boy. Good try. And then he throws him a biscuit.
There was a point I thought that their group was going to survive on a technicality because I think it was one where they needed 5 and eventually they did have 5 of them in the room, but only at the last second, and one of them was the pregnant girl. So I thought they would have gone, there is 5 of us in this because she is pregnant, that counts as another person.
We start to get a couple of side stories now as well. So we go back to North Korean lady and you see them actually enter her cell and beat her up for shooting them in the leg.
Yeah, so
and they
that-
threaten...
Yeah, so
Some horrible things.
the thing behind the scenes is that they are trying to keep some people alive because they want their organs, and it's better to have a live person to harvest organs from than not. And she is working against it for some reason.
I want to
Because
say...
I don't really think it's from a morality point of view.
Oh.
I don't think it's... Well, she's just fucking executing people, left, right and centre.
Yeah, but she's been paid a mint.
Is she though? I bet it's minimum wage.
She's
And I, bet you
lols.
bet you got to pay for the internet as well. And it's slow internet. I bet you can pay like £6 a day. It's like, that should really be free, but whatever.
What am I going to do? Not have internet. Obviously, I'm going to pay for
What
it.
am I doing? Not scroll TikTok? That'd be stupid.
I appreciate I'm on the Lost Island.
Have you signed up to the mailing list? And we also see Thanos and his crew bullying the crypto guy, is it?
Yeah.
Well, they don't like the crypto guy because he lost them a load of money, but there's also another guy. They've got Misun.
Oh, it's the other guy.
Yeah, Misun, he's like a meek sort of like bloke who, I'm going to say something really controversial, deserves to be bullied. I'm just going to say right here, right now, he is just useless. He is dead space. He is a waste of it.
He's Squid Game cuck.
He is Squid Game cuck. And that's what they say to him in it. They go, you're Squid Game cuck.
You know your place, cuck boy.
So, guys, do you give this an approval, Harry?
Yeah, I do. I don't think it's as strong as the first season. It's frustrating that we've waited 3 years for what feels like half a season. But I did enjoy it. And if you enjoyed season 1, I would still recommend people to watch it. I would also say maybe my opinion may change depending on how good season 3 is.
Okay.
Just because it feels like it is part one of a part two.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Ben, Mr. Sheridan.
I'm going to give it an approval, but I think I do agree with a lot of Harry's points here as well, which is that this does feel like it's a part one of a part two. And if they hadn't shot these two back to back, and I was like, I've got to wait 3 years for the next one, I'd have been like, really, is this it? But it's also a TV show from South Korea, which has done really well with really talented cast and crew. So I can't really yeah, there's some problems with it, but I'll get into the spoilers. But I would say it is approval, but only just. I mean, it's just crossed the finish line with a few seconds to spare.
Okay. Well, you both approved it, so I don't need to, but I would have approved it as well. So it's unanimous. Unanimous. Oh. Unanimous. But unlike you both, I actually really enjoyed it. It was a bit of a slow burn, but I think it needed to be. I don't think it was going to go full bang into season one glory. So I think I appreciate it for what it was. And interestingly, I appreciate it more knowing some of the trivia, which I will tell you about later.
Oh my god, okay.
So we're going into full spoilers now.
Ep 7.
The next point that happens is there's a riot.
So the last vote is tied.
Kicks off with a bullying guy in the guy they're bullying in the toilets, I think, and then it kind of escalates and people get stabbed with forks.
It is that thing, because also they deliberately put the forks into the food, into the meals.
Into only half the meals, you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it was only in the remains. The levers. So, in my opinion, I think the penny drops. So obviously it kicks off in the toilets, just because it's all getting a bit testy. They're all getting a little bit stabby, and
Harry said in the bunk above me.
We've all done it, and they then realise that it doesn't matter if you die in a game or if you just die. The prize pool will go up.
Yeah.
So they then realise, well, fuck. When it's lights out, we make our move. And this is where I kind of draw the line with the main character a bit. So at this point, they're a bit split, aren't they? So the main characters, they're going, we should prepare for the battle. We should fucking ambush them before they go for us. And he's like, no. If we do that, we're just lowering ourselves to their level, and we're better than that. We need to take down the Squid Games. We're not good. So what we should do is hide under our beds like a bunch of bitches, wait for all of our friends to get murdered, and then what we'll do is we're going to steal some guns from security guards and kill everyone.
And
everyone.
At this point, I'd have been opposite him, like, I do not love this plan.
Some holes.
I would have said to him, I like you, but you don't inspire me.
You're a bit of a bastard.
I was like, is that the best?
But he says it as well, like 001 says it. And
he goes, you're going to sacrifice
these few for the greater good of it. And it's the same question he asked him in episode 2. It's the exact same, because he says the same thing back to him. So it's like, oh, you've just proved his point. And even he says, like, well, look, the important thing is to stop the games from happening. Even if everyone else is murdered around on my bed, around my bed, the river of blood comes through when I drink it. Doesn't matter. I've got 2 forks now. Thanos is killed in the bathroom.
Thanos is killed. Yeah. And I know I'm the naive one on this podcast, but I was shocked that he died then.
I could have seen him stay on to the next season.
Yeah.
I think he could have done.
Yeah.
I think his mate could have died, and that would have been more what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting Thanos to die.
No. I was a bit sad.
I didn't care about the weeb bloke got killed. So he drops the bottle. He tries to protect the woman friend.
Yeah.
And he drops, is it a bottle?
He drops a bottle.
And he misses.
It misses by a mile. Literally, I would have been... Imagine you were going towards that woman with the fork, and then just a bottle drops out of nowhere. You're like, oh.
Who bloody threw that?
Who throws a bottle?
Who throws a shoe?
Because that's like...
Fucking idiot. I'll be up there in a minute. I'll fork you to death.
But also, like, in the nicest, like, you're on the top month. I know it's probably a bit of a drop, because it's like 3 up. But, like, just throw yourself off to get to him. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you really want to protect this woman, throw yourself off and just land on him. You're going to be hurt, but you might break his neck.
You are going to take him out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you might have, like, a fork in your ass, but...
I don't know how that would look on the thermal camera. Just to see one of the guys, just to see me running up with a fork in me. I was like, ah!
Full on sprinting round.
That would so be something I would do. I'd be so cowardly, and then I'd just drop a bottle, it'd miss, and I'd be like, fuck!
Well, he's not going to come up here.
Just put my duvet over.
The guards come in to break up the riot, they steal the guns,
Yeah,
and then they overpower the guards, and then they decide who's going to go and take back control from the Squiddles.
The Squiddles.
They do ask for volunteers, but a couple of them have stated they're Marines, so they go up to do the challenge. They've only got a finite amount of bullets because they've got whatever the guards are carrying.
Good bit from the trans woman, which I thought was pretty cool. Like this is really like again, like going off on a tangent. It's really trans positive. This show.
I really like her story.
Because she literally goes like, she was like, I was kicked out. I was kicked out of my job because because I wanted to transition. It's like, oh, what were you? And you're in the army. And then she literally says, oh yeah, by the way, there's fucking special forces. I was like, wow, you are the most valuable person right now on this team.
Yeah, I'm glad you're on my side.
Thank fuck you're here.
I really liked her story as well.
I think she's great. I just really liked her character, and I just liked the fact like she wasn't portrayed as like a very like weak character.
Yeah, which they could have easily done
very easily. But it's like, oh no, you're actually like the best shot. You're the best like leader. You're the best you are the best person.
You calculate as well.
Yeah.
So they
rubbish plan.
They storm up, they shoot as many as they can. They do get quite a few guards, and then Ji-hun and his childhood friend go off and pursue the main trial room.
Now, I brought it up earlier about the guy who was part of the Marines and he had a tattoo.
Yeah.
I think it's bullshit.
I don't think he was.
I think he applied, and I think he got the tattoo done because the first sign of action, he shits himself and he just splooges his bullets everywhere, doesn't he? He basically just chucks his gun onto the side.
Yeah.
And he's blind shooting. He's just throwing his gun about. And even the comrades are like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you wasting your bullets for, you moron? And yeah, he has a mental breakdown when obviously it's all going off and people are dying. He's seeing people die. And he volunteers to go back and get more ammo. And he basically just curls up in a ball. He's like, I'm not coming back, Chief.
We were 50-50 as to whether it was inexperience or PTSD. Yeah.
I don't think it was because of how he was shooting the gun. Like, the trans lady, she was very much like, go time.
Yeah.
I'm going back into military. Like, this is how I shoot. Like, she just went and did it. Do you know what I mean? Just kicked us. Even his old mate, who hadn't been in the military in a long time,
was doing it properly.
001 doing it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got quite far, to be fair. I was quite impressed at...
Well, if 001 hadn't been a 00 snake...
Oh, snaky boots.
Yes.
Which we will come back to because meanwhile, I can't remember what the police officer was doing.
Traffic warden guy.
Traffic warden guy basically
like has the spec ops team that's been hired by Jihan, and they're trying to find the island. Mm-hmm. And I think they do find the island.
I feel like they find it right at the end because they realise that the captain is a 00 snake.
He's a 00 snake.
They use the drone to then...
Yeah, drone.
Because he's been sabotaging the drone as well, hasn't he? But they use that to...
Well, there's a theory about him as well, which I learned from Hannah, actually.
Go on.
Oh.
So, if you look through... There's a bit where they go through previous winners, and one of the previous winners was player number 222. His boat is numbered 222. So the speculation is that he is the next winner. He's in on it.
Okay.
That's cool.
That is really cool.
I love fandoms sometimes.
How do they just... I know. Because he's obviously saying he's fucking about with the drone.
I mean, I've been on a few P&O cruises. If I saw someone stabbing another bloke multiple times and they're chucking about...
You cut the queue.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough, mate.
I'm like, actually, you know what? Deserves it. Let's piss on him.
You've seen a real side to you this episode.
Sorry, the Squid Games really bring this out. They really bring it out of me.
Oh, so then we come right to the end of the show.
The assault is good, but it is futile from the start. And I think they really make a point, like, we don't have enough ammo, we don't have enough... Like, eventually you'd run out.
I quite like that though. I think it was quite realistic, and I don't think any of us expected them to get far, but they did pretty well. What do you
Yeah,
think?
no, I think it was good. It was realistic. I didn't want them to be like, they got through everyone really quickly, but I thought it was going to be like a...
It makes the next games very awkward though. Sorry, I tried shooting you.
Do we still get to do the vote?
You've lost those privileges, sir.
Ooh!
Jihan and his childhood friend do manage to corner them essentially, but
Get close.
they run out of bullets, and that's when 00 Snake kind of goes round the outskirts and he kills the guards even, and then he sends them to kill the friend, I believe.
Well, he kills the two mates he's with, because they were like, three of you go around the back and flank him, and he kills those two, like, very...
Oh, that's right.
And then he goes on the radio, pretends that he's been shot.
Yeah, and
He's
then
like,
goes...
oh, they got me. They
Yeah,
got me.
so he goes back to his fancy control room, and he's now out the games for now.
Yeah, and the final thing is he personally, as obviously as the front man in disguise, he executes his childhood friend. And that's the end of it. End of Squid Game Season 2.
Yeah, which I was really sad about the childhood friend. Again, like, it's not necessarily unexpected, but I guess they'd got so far, and he only did that really to hurt Jihan, because he purposefully didn't kill him, because he wanted to be like, you know...
Oh, he wants to make him suffer.
Yeah.
Because he's like, you want to attack me? Because it would be easy for him to kill him. He has him in the palm of his hand. He can kill him now.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'd rather see you suffer. It's the tormenting power, torment. I like it.
We're going to play red light, green light, but no red light.
And we leave on this massive cliffhanger. Did you get blue balls?
Yes.
Yeah, massively.
I'd be, as you said earlier, I'd be very frustrated if there was another 3-year wait.
Yeah.
But apparently they've shot it back to back.
They have.
So the second half of the season comes out later this year.
Yeah.
So a lot of
season 3.
A lot of people thought this was a part 1, part 2, but then they released a video, I think, to maybe clear up the confusion, to say season 3 is coming out 2025, and that's the end season.
Yeah, it's the third and final one. They've done it. It's been shot and done. They just need to obviously release it. But there was a final credit scene.
I think we did see that.
Did you
but
see
I can't
that?
remember
What
it
remind
was.
us?
The final credit scene, like after the first like bank of like credits, is it's got the doll from Red Light, Green Light, and another one facing it, and it's a completely like sort of different looking dome. Like it doesn't look like.
I don't think I have seen that.
I don't think we have.
Oh, I should show you because then
we'll
the light goes from red light to green light and it cuts there. But it looks like a completely different game in a completely different place.
Interesting.
Like you can't see anyone's faces or anything like that, but it wouldn't be the same place, which makes me think there's more than. I think the implication is there's more than one Squid Game going on.
Yeah, it's not just in
It's not
South
just,
Korea.
Yeah, I think this is going on everywhere.
Yeah, agree.
Squid Incorporated is worldwide.
Squidding worldwide.
Okay, so I'm going to hit you with some trivia. So the writer only had 6 months to write season 2. Mm-hmm. He'd waited years to make season 1, and then as soon as it became an international phenomenon, Netflix were like, 6 months, go.
More, please.
Yeah,
Give
but
me
he
more.
would have had season 2 lined up. Come
No.
on. No, he's not just sat there for 10 years going, can't wait for season 1 to be
He
made.
maybe he had an idea.
Just like,
He's
But-
definitely would have had ideas.
Oh, I don't know.
What?
But that makes me appreciate it a bit more, because I think, like, you know, he's thrown this together and it's still pretty good.
Did you see this?
He's not throwing this together. Come on, don't be so naive.
When Kim Jun-hee is tasked with playing Jackie, which is the flippy game in the 6-sided race, it looks like she nails it in one try, but in reality, she did not. The actress failed it so miserably that they ended up doing it via CGI.
I don't. You know, fucking hell.
How many hours must you have tried it?
Kang Han-yeol spent days practicing konji, which is the rock throwing and catching in your hand
I really
game.
want to figure out how you play that.
But then they used a pro player to do it for him.
Oh, so when it goes into the hand, it's actually like it's a hand
That's
level.
fair. Because it did look stressful.
That looked very stressful, to be fair.
Again, I would like to know. Yeah, shouldn't have figured out how to play because I couldn't understand the rules of it.
Well, we will find out for the socials in a few weeks, maybe.
Oh, sweet Jesus, no.
We talked about Thanos quite a bit, but in real life, he was known professionally as T.O.P. So, although
Sorry, it was known as Top.
T.O.P., yeah.
Right.
Although his focus has been on acting in recent years, his career initially bloomed thanks to his music endeavours. He started in a boy band named Big Bang before moving on to a solo rap career under the stage name T.O.P. And this, his appearance in Squid Game Season 2 is like his revival, his career revival.
Okay. Is he... Again, I don't know much about South Korea. There are points in it where he's speaking just English.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of the time. He raps in English as well.
But he does that on purpose because he's a big star, I think. And my final trivia for you is Red Light, Green Light is a game that features a lot of CGI. But the new game, Mingle, the one where they're on the circular platform with the doors around the edge, was all practical.
Yeah.
They shot those people.
It was a great payout for the extras. Sorry, for the extras' families.
I mean, I like the idea it's practical because I think as an actor as well, to go into that environment and kind of interact.
It's really cool. Well done.
Really cool. So that's the end of the trivia, and then I just want to ask you both a question. If you could go into a game with a perk, what would you pick?
Do they have to be actual real life like advantages?
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
like-
So I couldn't get a revive.
Foresight would be good.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it'd be the ability to either see one of the games ahead of time.
One game.
Yeah, just, I mean, I'm assuming this is
Don't
like
get
one
too
and done.
greedy.
Come on, mate. Mate, they're paying me a fortune to be there. You've seen
just-
that piggy bank? That looks expensive.
I'll just do one more. Only one more.
Or it'd be the ability to pick every game. If you needed, you would be able to pick your team, regardless.
Oh, that's a great
So I would be like,
one.
if it's like we need 5 people for this team, I'd be like, right, everyone line up. I'm choosing the 5.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
What would your real
Like you was
life...
picking football teams at school.
I was
Pick all the good kids.
always last.
The only one I can think of is I would have a bulletproof vest.
But that only works for like certain games.
Yeah,
It does, and also if people then found out about said bulletproof vest, I think I'd have a knife to the head and they'd steal it off me.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell! Just thought of the best one. The ability to skip like one game.
Oh yeah.
Just do that. Just skip one game.
I think I would like to have the perk of ultimate vote. So if I picked leave,
good
we
one.
would leave. And if we wanted to stay, we could stay.
Oh, I don't know.
We would leave immediately.
I'd say I'd give you that power, but
On that lovely note, we've been Nerds Against Normality. Thanks for hanging with us. Catch all of our latest episodes every Wednesday wherever you get your podcast from. Please follow, rate, like us on social media for more exclusive content. If you have a question, something you want us to review, or a great story from your week, please email us at nerdsagainstnormalitypod@outlook.com. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much.
bye bye.